Sponsored by College of Applied Business, CAB, Gangahiti, Chawahil, Kathmandu.
Global College of Management, an excellent center for management studies.
Ecotech, Nepal सँगै अघि बढ्दै.
Welcome to the Career Horizon with Bijaya Mainali. In today's episode, we have with us Sakriya Adhikari. He studied up to grade 8 in Nepal and now he is continuing his study in USA. Sakriya, welcome in our show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here and I can't wait for the interview.
Okay, how's your vacation going?
My vacation's going great, I had 2.5 months as a holiday after 1 year of studying in the United States, and I think I've spent it pretty well. I spent about a month in the United States. Now I'm really excited to spend another month here and see how it all goes down. So it's going on great so far, and I can't wait to spend more here in Nepal. It's been really fun.
Why did you fly in the USA? To get quality education or for some other reason?
Well, my mom flew to the United States a long time ago, so she kind of liked it there. She wanted us to fly there. I wanted to go meet my mom after a really long time. So when I went there, I was really nervous and I was excited, and we decided to study there. And then we also thought the education there would be so many more levels above the education here in Nepal. But we studied there for a couple years and then we came back. And we were pretty surprised here. The education in Nepal or Southeast Asia, it's pretty good here too. So we stayed here for another 2 years and then we flew back. But I think we overall went to America for education and for other purposes, to meet family and to get established there, So I think we went there for that reason. So it's not just education.
When you reached to the US, school, friends, learning environment, all were new for you. And what major challenges did you face while studying in the classroom?
When I first went to the United States, I think I was in kindergarten and then I went to first grade, right? So in the United States, I was among one of the people that were really diverse and had a diverse culture. So when I went there, it was all new to me. The facilities, the schools, the area, there are so many, there are green colors all around me. So when I went there, it was like very easy for me to adapt because the teachers accepted me, my friends accepted me, and the school accepted me for who I am and where I'm from. So it was really easy to adapt, and we were in first grade, so I made friends really easily. I just messed around with a couple of boys. We were friends really easily, and time went by really quick. So it was really easy for me to adapt there. So I don't think there are any challenges, but some challenges where, I missed my family because I was really young. I was used to hanging out with my family a lot. So when I went to America, I only had my mom, dad, and sister. It was really hard for us to first get established and be around new people. So I think that was one of the challenges I had to overcome.
What sort of differences did you find in the education system between the US and Nepal?
Well, obviously, there's a lot of differences between the education system here in Nepal and the United States. In the United States, you don't find a lot of private schools. It's mostly like public schools, but they're run from the government, obviously. And, the government there, it has a lot of money, so it can fund the schools. So the schools are very well facilitated, treats their kids really nicely, is a very standardized school. It runs on a good, very high standard. So I really like the public schools there. So, it's kind of the opposite way around. In Nepal, the private schools are really good, except compared to the public schools. So most kids want to go to private schools, but in America, most kids want to go to public schools. And the education system, here in Nepal, it's kind of handwritten. We don't use computers a lot, but now we're, getting modernized, I guess, and then we're using more computers here as well. But there, it's not that much handwritten. We use Google Classroom as one of our apps, and then we just go there, submit all our homework and stuff. And again, the teachers, everything there is just well funded, and you can obviously see it. So the education system here, it's kind of more like theoretical, so you have to memorize stuff, but again, it's really good here too. I was surprised. There's 2 types of education, and I got to learn and I got to be educated from both types. So I'm really happy to see what I've become now, and I'm really excited for my future.
We do believe that teaching methods could not be effective if there is a gap between teachers and students. So what could be the relationship between teachers and students from your perspective?
In America, teachers treat students with a lot of care, and don't get me wrong, they do that here too, but in America, there's just a really good mutual relationship there, and I think that promotes learning even more, just on and off like the school building, so teachers are really close with students. I think that promotes learning even much more than just in the classroom. I mean, they're friendly. The teachers are very friendly there. So I think there should be, between teachers and students, I think there should be a lot of respect, love, and care between them. I mean, if a student cannot respect his teacher, he will not learn anything from the teacher. And if the teacher can't respect the student, he can't teach anything to the student either. So it goes both ways. And love and affection and care, it just, promotes learning even more. Teachers being close to students, I think it's a really good sign of a good school and a good learning area. And when I was in grade 8 here, I had a really good class teacher, and we loved him so much. When it was his birthday, we gave him a big piece of cake, and it just goes to show that when it was his period, when it was time to learn from his class, we were all focused. He didn't have to tell us twice to be quiet or to shut up. We were so dedicated to listening to him, and we loved him and loved and cared for him really, really much. So I think it goes both ways again. And if you can't respect the teacher, I don't think you're going to get anything from the class. So I think that should be the relationship between the teacher and student.
Teachers and students should treat each other as the friends.
It can't be exactly like friends, but I mean, there's nothing wrong, but you can't goof around with the teachers either if you're a student, but just because you respect, love, and care for a person doesn't mean you have to be friends. But if you can be friendly and if you can give them a lot of respect, I think that's how you learn, honestly. I mean, I don't know, but you shouldn't be directly friends with him, joking around. You have to give him some respect. You have to know who he is, his designation as a teacher. You have to, know that. And you have to treat him who he is, treat him for what he's trying to do, and just listen to him, pay attention, and always follow the teacher's lead. Because the teacher, they don't teach you wrong stuff, I'm telling you. They always want what's best for you, because why not, so you might as well listen to them. And every single teacher, you should always respect them, and I'm pretty sure teachers will love you and respect you.
And
back.
teachers should also understand the psychology of the student.
Yeah, they should. I think that's what makes good teachers different from bad teachers, right? If teachers can understand what students are going through, what they have to go through, what they have to learn, and how much problems they have to face, I think that's what makes someone a good teacher. Having a good relationship with their students, they can be very transparent and opaque to the students. So bad teachers, if you can't get a good relationship with the students, how are you going to be transparent to them? How are you going to teach them anything? So in all sense of words, it just goes back to that one thing. You have to have a really good relationship, and respect is the number one thing that comes to my mind between teachers and students.
Okay, we'll continue our conversation later. Now it's the time for short commercial break. We'll come back after this short commercial break. Sakriya, in today's world, we can see that most of the students are misled and misguided, lack of a career counseling and lack of a career guidance. So what could be the role of parents and teachers for the career development of the student?
Parents have a very big role on the career of their children in the future, right? Because children, they grow up around their parents. If a parent can treat his child with love, the child is going to give the same kind of love back to its parents, right? That's what I've experienced with my mom and dad. They've loved me so much, and, I love them back. So parents, here in Nepal especially, they always tell their students, they always tell their daughter or, son to be a specific kind of person when they grow up, for example, a doctor, engineer, a pilot, right? A surgeon or stuff like that. But, I think that's kind of, in my opinion, I don't think that's the whole thing. If you want your son to be a Dr. L, go ahead. You can promote him, you can put him in a school, you can give him that education. There's not a single problem with that. But if you want to force them to be something that they don't want to be, I think that's where the big problem is. And just forcing their child to do something they don't want to do, I don't think it's very enjoyable in the long-term process. Because maybe if they don't want to study that subject, they won't go very, very far. But if you give your son or daughter the opportunity to be what they are, be who they are, and do what they want to do, I think they can excel. Because I want to use my sister as an example, right? So my dad wanted my sister to be a doctor, obviously, and it was a big big thing back then, being a doctor. Like, oh my God, that's like really cool, you know? So that's like very prestigious as well. So my sister ended up studying biology. And I mean, she didn't like it that much. She didn't want to be a doctor. She didn't like want to do biology that much. So she branched off to do international relations, right? So, you know, when people here in Nepal hear of international relations, they're like, huh? That's not a doctor, that's not a pilot, that's not an engineer. So it must be something whack. It must be something unorthodox, right? So that's what they think. But, you know, my sister right now, she's done international relations, economics, business, and she's doing really well right now. She's enjoying her life. You know, she's like living every single moment very happily, and she's doing the best she can do. And, you know, she's just a really, really chill person. She's someone I look up to every single day, not just because she's not a doctor, but, you know, but because she wanted to be something, and she strived to be something that people didn't want her to be. So now she's happy. She's really, really happy with where she is. And I think that's what makes my parents and me happy in the end, you know. That's what life really is. Life is too short to regret what you were going to be, you know. So you can't regret anything in your life. It's too short. So if you want to be something, you got to go grab that opportunity. You want to be something, you got to be that person. You can't just like regret it and be like, oh, I should have done that when you get older, you know. So
But some parents interrupt the children while building their career. What do you say?
parents always wish the best for their child. So in the end, if they want to introduce them to a certain sector, they can. If the child likes it, that's great. But if he doesn't, I don't think any parent should, force him. But if my dad wants to introduce me to a field of science, a field of business, field of law, anything, I'll happily listen to him. I'll happily follow him because he's the guidance I have in my life. So, I'll happily follow him, my mom, my sister. But if it's something I don't like, I think my parents won't let me be like a major in that career, won't let me do something in the future, They won't want me to keep walking on that field. They'll want me to do something I really want. So in the end, I would listen to my parents, but if it's not something I like, I won't do it.
Now let's talk about the exam stress. Student preparing for exam often feel under the stress. So what could be the reason behind this exam stress?
First of all, I want to talk about the exams in America because I think that's a really good comparison. When we were in America, we studied, we had quizzes and tests almost every day. So we had a quiz almost the next day and then a test every week, right? So we were always feeling exams, we would know what we would have to expect. We knew what to expect, we knew what to do, and we knew how to excel in it, right? So we were very experienced in that term. So we had them almost every week. We had a test and quizzes. We had a lot of them. And when it was time for our final exams or midterms or like quarterly exams, it was really, really like chill. It was really easy, it felt really relaxed. Everyone was not stressing it. But here in Nepal, when I took exams, it was really, really hard for me to adapt to it as well, right? So the first term, we had 4 exams for a year. So we have to learn a lot here in Nepal, and when it's time for exams, we have 4 exams every year. And when it's the first quarterly exam, we have to go through our books, our copies, different books. There's like 9 subjects in our class, and we have to go through every single notebook to see what we've missed. And, we have to memorize a lot of things. And, we have to learn so much in like a day because it's just really hard, I think, because like you have to learn so much. You have to, review and stuff. And we only have them 4 times a year. And, I really don't agree with the exams that they do here. I don't think it's right. Because we have 1 exams, and let's say for math, you get like 4 hours to do a 100 marks question, right? So if a student does really bad that time, maybe he's under stress, maybe he has some personal issues, it doesn't matter. If he does bad, I don't think that should, describe what he is or what kind of student he is. So that's what I don't agree with. 3-hour exam or a 4-hour exam, even if it's a 10-hour exam, it does not, define what a student is and his capabilities. So I don't think that defines it. And students, their parents really, really care about the students' exam, right? So the students want to excel in it, want to do the best. They want to make their parents happy. Of course, every child wants to do that, make their parents happy. They get a treat afterwards too. So, they want to make their parents happy. And when they do that, they have to study so much. And if they forget, that's why I think it's stressful. You have them almost 4 times a year. And, when it's exams, they hype up exams so much to the point where it's like, oh my God, there's only 2 days left for exams. I'm screwed, So that's the kind of vibe you feel here. And it's really, really weird. But, I I mean, exams really hustle up the students to study even more and work harder. That kind of thing I agree with, but again, 4 times a year, it's not good. And having like 4-hour long exams, and that shouldn't describe a student either. So that's my opinion on that.
Teenagers today lack moral values and self-discipline. So can you tell me the importance of the self-discipline and moral values in the student life?
Nowadays, you have these students on their smartphones, on their tablets, on their computers a lot, right? So, some students, they might lack moral values and discipline, but, if a student has a lot of talent and he doesn't have any morality or discipline, he's not going to get very far in his life. Talent just doesn't take you everywhere, You got to have some values and discipline as well. You got to, station yourself in what you want to be, and you just got to respect every single person as a human being, because you can't just think, oh, I'm way better than him, or no, I'm way less than him. You got to be equal to everyone. And sometimes I see a lack of respect for students around here in my school. Some students don't respect other students as well, and I think that's like really, really harmful to their own careers and their own mindset or image. But nowadays, there's 2 sides to that story as well, because sometimes students can just be a dimrod. They can't really think. They're just really, they just like don't care about others. They only care about themselves. They lack discipline. They don't show proper respect to other people. But again, the students, as they grow up, that's when they get to like learn everything. When a student grows up, he should experience everything, not just the good things in life, but the bad things in life too. Because if he knows what it's like, if he experiences it, he knows what to expect in the future, right? So if a student only like learns the good things, how is he going to deal with the bad things later in life, right? So a student has to go through everything, and that I think that's what teenagers do. They have to go through everything. They experience everything, and sometimes they might lack discipline and all, but that's where that's where a parent or a guardian budges in and tells the student, hey, you're doing this wrong, so fix this, so that he can be better in life. And moral values and discipline, they're really, really important in my opinion. It's not just studies that get you somewhere. I've seen a lot of people who are not very studious, who are not very smart, not smart, but they haven't done very good in academics, but they have reached far in life. Like Bill Gates, he dropped out of college or high school, and now look, he's the richest person in the world. Not just because of academics, but because he has discipline, moral values. He does a lot for other people. He respects them. He does not treat his employees like a lower person, He treats them equally, and that's why I think moral values stand. You gotta have them, or you can't go anywhere. That's what I think.
All right, we are in boundary of time. So what message would you like to give to the students?
For the students, I would just, I would like to inspire them, because they're the pillars of our nation. Children, they're the pillar of our nation. What they do affects our nation completely. If they're not gonna study, if they're not gonna care for their country, then our country's gonna rip itself to shreds, because who's gonna be the future if they're gone? So when they grow up, they always have to look up. They always have to look up and be inspired to serve their country and do what the country did to them. It's their own country, Mother Nepal. So even if I go to the United States, I always care for my country. That's why I'm really excited being here, and that's what I give to youth, honestly. You got to respect your parents, your family, and your country. Those are the 3 things that I think youth should always remember when moving forward in life. You should never forget the 3 things. That way you have a reminder to yourself who you're working for, who you're striving for, and who you're trying to do better for. So that's my message, and I hope they can do better, and I hope they can. I'm still learning, So I'm still learning from my ways, and when I grow up, I really want to, help out my nation. So yeah.
Thank you, Sakriya. It was really wonderful having you in Career Horizon.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a really, really fun experience for me. So yeah, I hope to be here again.
Thank you for being with us. See you next time. Till then, good luck and goodbye.
Sponsored by College of Applied Business, CAB, Gangahiti, Chawahil, Kathmandu.
Global College of Management, an excellent center for management studies.
इकोटेक नेपाल सँगै अघि बढ्दै